Joining me now is the journalist who obtained all of those Disney videos, Chris Rufo, Manhattan Institute Senior Fellow. Also joining me is Amla Epunobi, PragerU personality, former left-wing activist. All right, Chris, you are, speaking of thorns in the side of these woke corporations, Disney went on to write that the only option for corporate leaders is to stand tall for authenticity, generosity, joy, and decency. These things are kryptonite for the right-wing agenda. Fortunately, they are also the heart and soul of the Disney brand. Well, everyone counts except, all of these kind of moderate Americans who just want to go and have fun and not be proselytized to or not have their kids turned into, sexual, points of perversion for teachers. Your reaction to this?
Yeah, I mean, it really is the case that Disney claims to be standing tall, but you saw the video. CEO Bob Chapek, someone who earns $32.5 million a year as his base salary, is just absolutely degrading himself every day, day in and day out. And the reality is that the conservatives in this country have dealt a major blow to Walt Disney. In Florida, legislators are looking at taking away their special tax breaks. In Congress and D.C., conservatives had said, we're not going to extend the Disney copyrights for Mickey Mouse and other characters that are set to expire next year. That's a multi-billion-dollar hit against the company. And conservative parents and families all over this country are in revolt against the mouse because they don't want their kids to be an experimental ground for the kind of sexual engineering of children that is clearly Disney's gambit. We've seen it in the clips. We've seen the kind of bizarre personalities that are at the helm, whether it's a biromantic asexual, a bunch of they-thems, whatever the neo-sexual identities might be. Those are the people who are calling the shots. They're projecting their own kind of bizarre psychologies onto the CEO who just backs down every day.
Now, Amala, as I said, they're targeting your generation. You're Gen Z, right?
Right, I am, yes.
I hate all the names. I hate the names of the generations. They're all stupid, but it's so dumb. But they admit that's the group they're after. My point is, most of the Gen Zers aren't going to pay $300 for whatever it costs for a park hopper pass. They're going to pay that. Their parents or their grandparents pay it, and they're not going to want to foot these bills. Your reaction to all of this?
Oh, exactly. Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think what their motive here is to get children while they're young and infiltrate their minds with this sort of ideology, because they know that if they get these children at a young age, it will stick, as it did with me when I was a young leftist. That stuck with me into young adulthood. So that is really the goal here. I think what they failed to recognize is the power of parents, and that parents are really awake to the indoctrination that they're trying to push on their children. We're seeing them protest at Disney. We're seeing them cancel their Disney Plus subscriptions, and they're sending letters to these executives saying, I will not tolerate you thinking that you are the parent of my child and that you get to dictate what my child learns. And we're seeing the horrific outcomes of children learning this sort of gender theory, not just here on Disney, but in school and in mainstream media and social media. It's devastating.
Well, Pete, I'm going to get to one more of the videos, but before we do that, Pete Buttigieg revealed his thoughts, guys, on the Florida bill, and he did this morning. Watch.
Your husband, Chasten, he's been a vocal critic of what's going on in my state of Florida with the so-called Don't Say Gay law now, which he says will kill kids. Do you agree?
Yeah, he's right. And I think every law ought to be judged for the effect it's going to have on real people. This is going to hurt people.
Well, Chris, it's the opposite. This bill protects children's innocence if it still matters to any of these people.
Yeah, I mean, the logic here is so stunning, it's almost to the point of total absurdity. The idea that if you can't teach kindergartners, 5-year-olds, about that they might be pansexual or asexual or biromantic or all of these other new identities, that somehow it's going to be leading to killing them. One of the Disney activist partners actually said that this was all a scheme by Republicans to start kidnapping children. The rhetoric is going to the point of insanity. Conservatives have to just sit strong, not give up, and keep fighting against these baseless and ridiculous smears.
Now, Chris, you've done such a service to parents across this country to reveal what's really going on at Disney. And Amala, just for the edification of our viewers, here's what one Disney producer wants to include in the shows she's involved with. Watch.
I identify as like a biromantic asexual. I want to use my content to like go deeper. I want to like add the pockets of the LGBTQ community that you don't see. I was like, I want to get like gay advanced.
I think she said like 3 or 4 times in the span of about 20 seconds. How about it? We stop saying like. Amala, reaction quickly.
Right. Yeah, clearly she should be at the head of teaching children. It's amazing how many identities they come up with, and there will be more. And it shows you how important things like sex and race and gender are to these people when we should be focusing on moral character, integrity, and values. That's what Disney used to do with their stronghold on the American childhood. They need to go back to that.
Chris, Amala, great to see you both tonight. Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.